Hey there, fellow travelers, Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're here in Rwanda for 10 shocks that tourists have when they come here to Rwanda. And we've been shocked how much we love this place. It's brought us to tears so many times from the joy we've had in our times here. But I want to give you some of the tourist shocks you might have when you're here. And the first shock a lot of tourists have is they fly into Kigali and they walk out. It's how clean this country is, especially the capital, Kigali. I mean, you can eat off the streets. It's how clean it is. The people take pride in their country and they keep it super clean. It's so much of an importance to be clean that actually the last Saturday of every month, the entire country goes and cleans their neighborhoods. It's amazing. So you don't see litter on the street. You don't see garbage anywhere around. You see people always cleaning up and picking things up, and it makes it such a beautiful country to be to. And that's what shocks you, man. It's so clean. I mean, I wish my hometown was as clean as Rwanda. It is just awesome. Now, the second thing that shocks people when they come here is their road experience. And when I say road experience, one, the roads are really good if you're on the highways. Even if you're on some of these back roads down here, it might be a little bumpy, but they're still pretty good. But the really shocking part of the road experience is seeing the people on the sides of the roads. Because here, people walk everywhere, they ride bikes everywhere, stuff like that, and you will see people, you'll see women carrying huge jugs on top of their head, and maybe with a cell phone in one hand, an umbrella in the other hand, and the baby on the back just walking down the street. Or you'll see guys pushing bicycles with huge sacks of potatoes on the back, or maybe some construction equipment on there, and just walking down the road, waving hi at you and stuff like that. Or the kids you see walking to or from school, and they're so excited to see you, and they're all waving, and you wave back to them. It's just such a wonderful experience when you're on there, and you're like, I could just take pictures all the time when I'm on the road here, and it's really kind of a cool thing. And of course, I guess you could say some people get shocked when they see the people walking their goats with them, because the goats got to be tied up. You can't let them roam free here. You got to keep things clean, okay? Now, the next thing that shocks some of the tourists when they do come here are the moto taxis, the motorcycle taxis. Yes, you will see people driving around with a vest on and a helmet, taking people with the back with their helmet on as well. Yes, the moto taxis. I know in our don'ts we talk about don't be too posh for a moto taxi, because you can't be, because the thing is, this is the country of 1,000 hills. I know I say it all the time, but it really is. And it may seem like, oh, it's not that far going this way, but with all the hills, it can be pretty far. So even in Kigali, you know what? Hop on the back of the moto taxi. They will have a helmet for you, and you have to wear it, and they'll take you around. But it can be shocking when you're like, man, goodness, there's a lot of motorcycle taxis. Oh, also, there's bike taxis as well. Now, the fourth thing that shocks tourists when they come here to Rwanda is actually you can get up close and personal with gorillas. You see the volcano behind me, that mountain there? It's a volcano. It's part of Volcano National Park, and back over that way, that's where Dian Fossey was. You can actually trek with gorillas, mountain gorillas, like walk through them and see that. And it's such a cool experience. It's a little pricey to go, but it's well worth it. And you're there, and you're so close to them, and you're not supposed to go up to them, but they might come up to you, which might be a little shocking. Or when one runs out of the back, you're like, ah. But don't worry, you'll be okay. You'll be shocked how calm they are, what a great experience it is when you are here. And that's one of the things people love about Rwanda. And when they think about Rwanda, they think going to see the gorillas. Well, you know what? It's right there. That's where you can do it. And it's really, really cool. But I want to talk about some other stuff too. So we'll move on to another location to finish off these shocks. Now, the fifth thing that shocks people when they do come here to Rwanda is actually there's more than just gorillas. I know our guide Paul and I, we've had a long discussion. We have a whole video about all the different stuff you can do here in Rwanda, but it's amazing how they think it's just gorillas and they don't realize, like, oh my gosh, I'm so surprised that there's so much more. So whether you're going to Lake Kivu or you're going to some of the other lakes you can see here, like where I was filming before, or if you want to go to some of the other national parks that are here, you can check out. I mean, if you go to Akagera National Park, I know I'm butchering the name, but if you go there, that's where you can see the Big Five, you know, see those things there. There's a lot to do. Checking out Kigali, probably the cleanest city, well, definitely the cleanest city I've been to in a long time, anywhere around the world, but it is one of the cleanest capitals in the world, and there's some great stuff to see there. Obviously, there's a lot of the genocide memorials you can see when you're around here, and I'll talk about that later in the shocks. But there's actually a lot to do here that's not just, you know, I'm going to look at gorillas, you know. And for example, if you are around here by the Volcano National Park, you can go to the Gorilla Guardian Village, which is basically a bunch of ex-poachers have come in and developed this park. And what it does, it tells you the history of Rwanda, teaches you the cultural kind of stuff of it. You get to see the dances, you get to see a marriage, you get to see all kinds of cool stuff, how to shoot arrows, how they would make their spears. I mean, it's really kind of a cool thing. And the people are so enthusiastic about it that you can't help but be enthusiastic about it as well, which is really awesome. Now, the sixth thing thing that shocks people when they come here is how safe you feel when you're here in Rwanda. You know, from the clean streets, the super friendly people, to all these kind of things, you do feel really safe when you're walking around town, or you're waving at the people when you're going by, or if you're taking a moto taxi around town, you're like, wow, I mean, I feel a little unsafe on the back of a motorcycle, but I don't feel unsafe in general. And that's one of the things people get very surprised about, because when they think of Rwanda, they think of the genocide, right? And they're thinking, oh, is it going to be safe when I'm there? It's 25 years ago, okay? Like, you really feel super safe when you are here in Rwanda, whether you're in the mountains, whether you're, you know, at Lake Kivu, whether you're at the parks. I mean, it's a really great thing. And though I will say, I do say you'll be surprised how safe you are, you might also be a little shocked when you go to like malls or some places where they'll actually have people with metal detectors, and they'll check your bags, and they'll look underneath your car to make sure everything's okay. Don't worry, it's safe. And yes, the cops do walk around with AK-47s, but as some of my friends here told me, you know, no one's scared of a pistol. So you got to carry something that the bad guys are scared of. So that was kind of a funny thing there. Now, the seventh thing that shocked me when I was here is this really is a vegetarian's dream. Now, I'm not a vegetarian, but during my time here, I've become vegetarian for at least the week I'm here, because the food, it really has a lot of really great veggie-based things. Like, you have a lot of bean stuff, a lot of potato, a lot of sweet potato, banana, stuff like this. But how they make it with the sauces is fantastic. And so you'll see on your menus, a lot of times you're staying at like a lodge like this one, and you're eating at their restaurant, they'll have 2 meat options and 2 vegetable options, because the people here, a ton of them are vegetarians, because they're like, look, it's a cash crop with that cow. I'm not gonna turn it into a steak. I'm gonna sell that milk. I'm gonna sell that its dung and stuff like that for fertilizer. So it is kind of interesting how like this is a super vegetarian place. And the 8th thing that shocks people when they come here is how incredibly friendly and hospitable the Rwandans are. I mean, everywhere we've gone, people have been, hey, how are you? People come up and talk to you, ask you what you're doing here. Do you like Rwanda? You know, the people are every saying hi when you go to all your lodges, when you're going to the hotels, when you're going around town. I mean, it's just incredible how friendly and outgoing the people are, and how much they want you to have a good time when you are here. And they do ask you, what do you think of Rwanda? What have you enjoyed here? What have you done here? Where are you going next? Like, the people are just so outgoing and friendly, and you'll see that when you see the ladies dressed up and walking down the street waving at you, or the little kids that will come and swarm you and just try to talk to you for a little bit. Or if you go into one of the malls or one of the shops, people just come up and say hi and want to talk. It's really a cool thing, and it's not shocking, it's just a wonderful thing, but how nice the people are here. And then the 9th thing that's going to shock you when you come here, and this is one of the things that probably should be earlier, but I wanted to get the fun stuff out of the way first. The 9th thing that will shock you is the horror and atrocities that were committed during the genocide here in 1994. For those of you who don't know, in 1994, in 100 days, 1 million people were massacred. Okay, with machetes. I mean, the stories were horrendous. And if this is the kind of stuff that upsets you, it's okay. Stop watching the video now and know you'll enjoy Rwanda, okay? Or skip ahead to where I talk about the tent shock, which is a good thing. But when you go around and you go to the genocide memorials, and you go to the church where some of the massacres occurred, like, they don't hide into this stuff. You see the stuff. I mean, you see the pictures. You read about the stories. You see how people were killed. And it wasn't just old guys like me. It was babies and kids and women and children. I mean, it's horrific. And I mean, it will shock you just all what happened here. And it really, like, it'll bring you to tears when you're there. And there's a lot of genocide memorials around the country that you can visit, which you really can educate yourself about what's going on. Because I was a kid, I remember watching the genocide on TV. I remember seeing these things like, why is no one doing anything? Like, oh, it's a civil war. It's not. I'm like, no, this was horrible what's happening here. And you'll be, you know, ashamed of your own country. Why didn't we do something when this happened? And it really does really move you when you are here to see what happened during those 100 days. But the 10th thing that shocks you, and the thing that really like gives you hope for mankind itself, is how well this country has come back together. How forgiveness and working together has really rebuilt this country into a fantastic place for people to live, for people to work, for the country to develop, for tourists to come here. Their infrastructure's developed so much in the last 25 years. This is a fantastic place to visit, but it really shows you that, man, if they can overcome that and come together as a people, because they're not Hutu or Tutsi or Twa, they're Rwandan, okay? And you're here and you see that it's Rwanda first, you really see like, wait, maybe we all can get along when we see these kind of things and this kind of thing here. And that's one of the things that's really inspired us about coming here, and as we've been here, to see how the people have really come together. And it is shockingly wonderful how they have overcome the horrors and the atrocities of the genocide over 25 years ago to today. So I hope this helps you know a little bit more about some of the culture things when you do come here to Rwanda. It is a fantastic country. We have enjoyed our time here. We've made so many friends, met so many people, played soccer with so many kids around the country. It's just been a really great thing. So if you want to learn more, maybe some like more serious don'ts about coming to Rwanda, maybe you want to know, you know, how do I tip when I'm here, because it's a tipping kind of thing. Do check us out on our website at waltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and we really appreciate your likes, subscriptions, and we hope you have a great time here in Rwanda, because I know we have, and we've loved it the entire time we've been here. Jocelyn even said, and I've said this in all of our videos, she said this and Greece are the two countries that have touched her heart the most and really brought her to tears, because yes, the genocide stuff, but also because of the joy and the wonder and the amazement of this country and its people. So I will say bye from here in Rwanda. I wish you a great time if you do come, and I'll see you later. Bye.